Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, back again. OSQ is back in town. Back in town. I don't think we ever left town, quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing? Let me lower down this music. Let me hit it. Ayo, ayo. We just get ourselves in the groove here. I keep saying that I have to stop going to the pool before I do my show because it just relaxes me way too much. You can see how relaxed I am here as we're starting the show. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pete Palma. I am, of course, your user-friendly host. I am user-friendly because I love you out there very much, individually as well as a group. This is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life, where we learn to flow with the status quo of life, and then, by God, please say it with me, ladies and gentlemen, we learn to create our own flow of quo, yo. Why? Why? Because it's the only way to go. It's the only way to go. You gotta create your own flow of quo, don't you know, yo? Yeah. Hey-o. Hey-o. All right. And remember, of course, if you're not living your flow of quo, then you're living someone else's flow. And like, what the hell are you doing here? You don't know what the hell's going on if you're doing that. All right, I'm sorry. Hey-o. You know, I get giddy and excited, and I start hitting a lot of buttons and different things. We'll see how the show goes here today, ladies and gentlemen, because actually, where I live, my group of townhouses, they're actually doing a project here and repainting the houses, and they're just about, I believe, to come to mine. I got plastic over this window here. Am of fact, let's see if I go over to the, where am I? Do I have that on this screen? No, I have to go. Let me go over here. I'm going to go over here to this set of buttons. Where the hell am I, for God's sake? Here we go. For the close cam, I'll give you a quick shot over here. See that plastic on the window? The window's covered in plastic. I can't see outside. It's been freaking out the cat, But anyway, let me go back to camera one. All right. So anyway, yeah, and what was I going to say there about that? So I hear them out there moving the ladder up and about. They're working across the upstairs parts of the unit, so we might get a visit from the from the painter while we're doing the show today. I'll bring the camera over and see if we can get a few words from the painter if he comes up and pulls the plastic down. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, how we doing out there? Are you feeling good? Are you loving life? That's what it's really all about. That's what we do here on Operation Status Quo. It's 3 minutes. Please let me do something before I lose the little bit of audience that I may have out there. Today is the 20th of August in the good year 2025, and today's program is entitled Spun to Spin. Not just fun to spin, because it is in a way, but we're spun to spin. Oh, and before I start, it's so funny. It's so funny. We do have a guest on the OSQ satellite link today, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we do have Paco. Last time we spoke with Paco, we weren't sure what was going on. He was on the run and stuff, and but he did reach out, and he's ready to speak. He'll be joining us a little bit later. And since the show got cut off last week, and I'm going to say this as a disclaimer, if that ever happens, if you ever watch one of the shows and it just disappears without my appropriate ending that I do, if I didn't say disengaged, that show technically is never over. So I mean, it just kind of continues to vibe through infinity until I say disengaged. Okay, so last week's show is still going on somewhere in an alternate universe, ladies and gentlemen. But if you ever see that it just cuts off my computer, I mean, I can't control everything, and sometimes it just freezes up and that happens and the computer shuts down, and by the time I get it all started again, the vibe is gone. Then I got 2 videos for 1 video. It is what it is. This is the live stream of consciousness, and whatever the program is meant to be in the time that it is, the show that it is what it will be, and that's exactly what we do here on Operation Status Quo. That's the point of everything that we're trying to express and talk about here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. It's just remembering that we're letting life do what it's meant to do, and that's exactly what we're talking about when I say spun to spin, ladies and gentlemen, because, in the grand thing, in the grand view of the universe, as it were, the totality of the oneness and the interplay of energies and such, right? We are these divine beings well beyond our physical entrapment of this time and this framework and our personalities and such. So, on that higher level, right, what do? We spun spun a piece of that totality, and then we like splat. It's like a splat. Like the physical world is always like splat, like taking a paintbrush and then just like dipping it in some paint and splatting it against the wall or splatting it against the canvas. That's what the physical representations of our life really are. They're just the splats of what we had already spun on the other side. And while we're here, we just continue to spin. Don't you understand? We're just spinning. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. You spin. All right, we're gonna stop right there. Oh no, I don't want that. How about a baby crying? Yeah, that sounds better. Get out of here. And I think again, like for all the messages we try to do here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen, like all these things are a reminder in this time of change in our world. I think it's a beautiful time, and it plays into everything. Like, and just to take that basic of what I said, trying to use whatever, imagery and such, but to say, we are like a piece of something that we created into a perception point of what we are in this life for the purpose of our growth and everything else. I try to explain to people all the time, like even like worse, not say worse, but things that don't always flow in your life, whether it be with certain relationships or jobs or anything. But what I'm saying is like everything's always kind of put in our path, more so as a point of reference and a point of, for lack of a better word, maybe contention at times, even joy at times, right? To lift us, whether it be contention to divert us to another thought process and to see things in a different way, or joy to fill us up and give us extra that we believe in ourselves or accomplish something, right? And like that takes us to a level. I'm saying whatever it is in life that's happening on the physical level is really just teaching tools. Like I think it's important to, and I know I've said this a bunch of times, but I just think it's important not to label situations and direct behaviors from people and such as the cause of. Like, to me, I always feel people in your life, even ones that are say negative relationships and such, like there's an agreement that was made before the physical thing happened. Right? There was an agreement that your mother was going to be your mother, or your wife or husband was going to be your spouse. You know what I'm saying? And and whatever the contents of the relationship are, for better or for worse, at the end of it all, it's like an agreement at a higher level. Like, yeah, I'm going to be a dysfunctional parent because it's going to teach your soul to overcome these certain aspects that your soul still needs to overcome. It's going to put you in a position that's going to empower you to, but most people go through life and go, oh, my mom was a boozer and she used to party at the strip clubs. Like, I don't know, right? When you have like a bad parent, my dad came home, drunk, kicking the dog, whatever, so don't kick the dog. I'm sorry. Don't kick the damn dog, for God's sake. That's not nice. And you'll look at that stuff and be like, oh, I can't because of this, or every time I even people for consistently in relationships and even work, right? People put themselves in a position of only believing they have a certain aptitude, or only believing they are allowed to say and react in certain ways or certain things. So it always keeps them in a space of attracting and being in situations that are always going to keep them within that limitation until they decide to face that limitation and break free and not allow any more of that to come into their life, right? So that's the power that we all have. And it's not, again, I always say, no good or bad, no right or wrong and all that. And I think it's so vital to remember that. Oh, hold on, we got to do round because we got RC3 is in the chat. Yeah. He said engaged. That's right. RC3, thanks for catching up. We've been engaged for about 9 minutes and 17 seconds. We've been engaged. All right, no, but thank you. RC3 is always out there. I tell you all the time, if you're there live watching the live stream right now, please chime in on the chat. Say hello. You don't have to say hello to me. Say hello to RC3 because RC3 he's always supporting the show, and it's much appreciated. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, like all that kind of stuff. We just remember when I say, how I say everything, but you know what I mean? When spun to spin, you remember, no matter what's happening in your life, that ultimately you chose it, right? You are the creator. There is no time and space. There's nothing out there to get anyone. Like, the more you look at the world and the way things are changing and the dynamics of our perception and stuff, and especially with things like AI and everything coming forward, can't you just see? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking this question, and you can ponder it yourself and reflect upon it if you like. But don't you just see like how the world doesn't even look the same in certain regards? Like, I don't know. I noticed like more vibrant colors in certain things that I used to before. I don't know. I just see and I see through. So this is going to sound crazy. We're going to. Where's my? Hold on. No, I'm not going back to that. Where's my ambulance? Yeah, I think the ambulance is over here, isn't it? Where's the ambulance? Yeah, call the ambulance, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, get them over here because we're losing my brain again. But I'm trying to say that I see through. I feel like I see through like physical. Like I see that it's just a projection when I look at the world. Like when I don't go outside and say those are just buildings and hard concrete streets, and I don't know. I kind of see through it, like it's not really there. It's the imagery, like a video game. I'm glad I remembered this. I was thinking this while I was doing my dipsy doodle in the pool, and I wanted to mention it. But it's like a video game. Right? Remember back in the old days when we had the Atari or the Nintendo, and you had the cartridges, and you put the cartridge in. I mean, however you're playing the video game now, it's still a program, but it's the same thing. So all the parameters of the game are within that program, right? They're within that cartridge, and then you activate the cartridge, right? And that's what each of us are as a life, like our entire life. It's not like again, I always talk about things being in levels, right? So like you as a baby to you as you die, whenever that is, it's not like all this time that passes and it's levels. It's like it's all at once, but it's like the levels of it, and the same thing with the game. You go through levels in the game. Sometimes your character dies. Sometimes the character makes it to the end. But the game has what it needs for where you make it in the game, right? The program's already established. Like you're not going to play like Pac-Man and then all of a sudden it becomes Donkey Kong. You know what I'm trying to say? Like the parameters of what Pac-Man can do and achieve are within that cartridge because that is that particular, just like our lives are a particular focal point. It's the same thing. And all the parameters of what we can accomplish from the greatest of things that we can accomplish, to, dying on the first level, whatever that may be through this physical life, right, is that those possibilities all exist within that game. That's what I see. Like when I see the world, it's like, that's all how much can I accomplish? Like what is there, what other thought patterns and things can I see that would open my perspective in a different way, in another way, and like how many levels are there, and how much, how far can you really go within, the confines, because eventually we are going to pass from, this particular incarnation. So, you just like, you play Pac-Man and then maybe you go play another game. Go play another game, Galaga was always my favorite. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite back in the day, like the old games? I don't know. I know everybody does all these. I don't pay attention to all these games, but, I used to love Galaga. I used to love Asteroids. I never played many games. I stopped after the first Sega, but I used to like playing the hockey on the Sega. Nintendo, I used to love doing like, the Mike Tyson boxing and the wrestling game. Remember the Amazon guy? You would like bite your head and stuff. So, but I gave up on I'm not a video game guy, quite honestly, but I understand people like that stuff. I mean, we need something. Everybody needs something to dumb us down. So some people watch Operation Status Quo, and some people play video games. Hey-o. So spin the spun the spin, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember that we chose it, we spun it. It's spinning right now as we're here existing. So enjoy the spin, and remember that you're creating the world out there as you see fit. And the truth is, the people that are in your life are reflections of things that you need to learn for better or for worse. And nothing has to be permanent forever. Sometimes you meet people and it's a quick thing. Like I look back and as I've been reflecting on all the things that I've been doing, and I think about people who helped me along the way, even to my vice principal in high school. Like, I was never like a bad kid, but you see how rambunctious I am, and I always had little bits of trouble, But this guy really kind of understood me and knew I wasn't a threat, and he helped me out a lot. Like where other people would have like categorized me in a different way as a problem, when I really wasn't, and then even when I first started working in radio, the guy that was running the station, don't necessarily speak at this time, but I mean, he gave me an opportunity opportunity as a young person, like 20, 21 years old, to go on the radio and do whatever I wanted to do. And, I was crazy back then. You think this is crazy? I'm not going to hit any sound effects, but you think this is crazy? It's like, but that's the way, that's and you have to look at life like that way. Like sometimes people just come in for a time or a space or even a moment that just kind of pushes you in another direction, helps lift you. That's why I try to look at everything that happens to me, or things that I perceive that are going on in my life as what is it teaching me, showing me, instead of saying somebody did something to me or be angry. It's more of, okay, with the understanding and the realization comes the responsibility of reflection and then making a choice. It's really as simple as that. So I guess I'm going to leave it right there because I think we did pretty good. We didn't get too crazy. Now, stop it. Hey-o. Yeah. So let's, I see a little bit of buffering. I always got to bring it up because that damn buffering just bothers me. It bothers me to buffer. I just can't stand it. Even though I know a lot of you guys out there kind of just listen to the show and don't watch, which is probably better for you. I mean, my gosh, the turmoil of watching and listening. Listening is just enough, right? I mean, I totally understand. It's like if you were watching this on mute, I wonder what that would be like, just to watch my facial animations and such. If you were watching it on mute, probably know what it would be. It would be like, remember in Clockwork Orange when he sat the guy in the chair with his eyes propped open and they just kept force feeding him, those movies and stuff while they were making him sick. I mean, that's what they would use my content for, like, to try to break the minds of criminals and the mentally challenged. Although, well, hold on, let's just stop right there. All right, so yeah, that's good, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling good and you're feeling good. And what did I do? I was going to say, let me know in the comments whether you watch, listen, or do both. I mean, I'm just curious. I do think about sometimes extracting the audio from this and making it into a podcast. That's a whole nother step I have to do. But for now, here we are together. All right. Oh, I'm buffering pretty bad. I see a lot of red. All right, but we're going to continue on. So I got to go to the satellite. We got Paco sitting on the line. So let me go back over here so I can get over to where I need to be to get to the satellite. I know it's this damn internet down here, especially at this time of the day, because this never used to happen. So why am I talking about this? This is not good content for the show, ladies and gentlemen, but it is the live stream of consciousness, and sometimes it can't be helped. I can't be beat. I won't be beat, All right, here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to have Paco back on the show. So we're going live to the OSQ satellite via Starlink. Paco, are you with me, Paco? Come in, Paco. Hey man, how you doing? Why you're so crazy, man? Like I'm sitting here listening to you, and you make me laugh so much, man. But I love being here on the show with you, man. It's so much fun. All right, Paco, I'm sorry. I was overstepping you a little bit while you were talking. Oh my gosh. Hold on. It's good to have you. Hey-o. All right, Paco, let's get down to business. Now, last time you were here, we had a little bit of a problem. We were talking. The helicopters were coming. Your uncle got taken away. I've been really thinking of you. I'm concerned. So just, the audience has been asking like crazy. So can you tell me what's going on? Oh, man, let me tell you, man, it was so crazy, man. After that time happened, I was talking to you, man, I had to get on the run, man. I had to get on the run because now they got my uncle. That was it, man. I knew I was next on the list, man, right? So Paco goes, oh, man, here we go again. Paco got to go, man. So I was trying to say to myself, what can Paco do, man, make this easy? Because I know they won't get me, man. I don't want them to get Paco, man, because, Paco not as bad as they say, man. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, man. But I got to make a living too, man. So anyway, but I thought to myself, maybe I can just, sneak out and I self-deport, man. I get out of there, And then, man, I was ready to do that and self-deport so they don't get me myself, man. I figured I'll do it on my own terms. And then I get a phone call, man. I get a phone call from my uncle, man, that it turned out he choked out the helicopter pilot, man. He choked out the helicopter pilot. The helicopter went down. He jumped, man. I don't know how he make it, man. That's why my uncle is so crazy, man. He can jump from a helicopter and still survive, man. That's how crazy my uncle is. And then he made it back to Mexico. And then he told Paco, because Paco left, if you come back Mexico, he's going to cut my throat, man. Now, I can't even go back home Mexico because my uncle said he's going to cut my throat, man. Now, what Paco supposed to do now, man? Oh, my God, Paco. Oh, my gosh. This is just insane. I can't. Your uncle was able to overpower these ICE agents in the helicopter, take down the helicopter, escape, make it back to Mexico, and then was able to find you, get in touch with you, and let you know how ticked he is that you ran away while he was being apprehended, and now you can't go back to Mexico. Paco, I don't know what to say. This is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard. No, man, this is like a typical day for Paco, man. Paco don't usually get upset. Paco go with the flow. He know what to do, man. He's on the streets. He don't take care of business. But now I got to worry about my uncle, too, man. I can't go stay here in this country because they're going to find me, man. And then I can't go home, my other country, man, because my uncle wants to cut my throat. I got to talk to him now and work all that out, man. But I got to make sure I do it right because, if I don't get a chance to talk to him and square it away before I get my throat cut, man, that's not going to do Paco no good, man. So, I don't know. I just wanted to get back with you because I know you've been asking and reaching out. I have a little bit of time now. I'm trying to figure things out. I got a little bit of time, man. And Paco just going to keep doing what he's doing. If you want to help, if your audience, man, if they love Paco, they want to help, somebody can maybe put me in the trunk of a car and get me somewhere. I don't know, man. Maybe I go to Canada. Maybe I deport the other way. I don't know, man. I'm just thinking a lot of things, but anybody who maybe have some experience, help out Paco, maybe you can let me know, man. Oh, man. Paco, let me give you a round of applause. Yes. Yes, Paco. My audience is loving and caring and is willing to be there for you. Now, I'm saying this seriously, Paco. We can make this happen. We can help you. Maybe I can talk to you. Maybe I can talk to your uncle now that I'm thinking about it. And, man, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I can put you in touch with him. I mean, he don't usually cut throats for no reason. Like, I don't think, you would make him mad, but maybe you can smooth it over a little bit for me or something because, right now, Paco, like a pinball, man, bumping off the bumpers, man. Like, I can't go north, can't go south, can't go east, can't go west. Where Paco supposed to go, man? He's spinning in circles, just like you talking about. Spun to be spin, man, or whatever they're talking about today, man. So, yeah, help Paco. Send we'll talk about it more. Pete, I appreciate you having me, man. But Paco has to stay on the move right now. So I'm going to go for now. But I thank you so much. And, anybody want to help Paco. Please, somebody just help Paco, man. All right. I'll talk to you later, Pete. Bye-bye. All right, Paco. Godspeed. Godspeed, Paco. Heyo. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know what's going on out there. You follow along in the show. So if you can help Paco, I mean, that's just what a crazy story, the poor guy, you know what I mean? But I can't believe his uncle. Wow. I mean, that guy's really got some cojones, right? Taking down the helicopter, making it back. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides just to come back into the country, maybe hunt Paco down. I shouldn't say that. Paco might get nervous. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing good and we're having a good time. Are you having a good time? If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share, and all that type of stuff. Why not? It doesn't, and click like. I mean, just click the like. I mean, just tick, 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 and just click that little button. If you checked out the website, pete.palma.com, don't forget about that. And of course, the Happy Day album is streaming out there. I got to throw those little things in here. It's better than when you watch like some of those shows on YouTube and they stop and do like a whole commercial about nothing. Like, it's funny. I'm glad I brought that up. Like when you talk to somebody else and you go, oh, I'm glad you brought that up. It's like, that's what I do with myself. Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. It's more shit for you to just pontificate about. That's nothing. But I get agitated a little bit with some of the recent with the that whole truth community thing. I realized when I look back at some of my older Facebook posts, like from 2020, like how I was so into everything, even with the Q and everything else. Not to say that I think everything has its place in a certain regard, right? But I mean, I understand that I was a little, much with it in the beginning because I was feeling so free and breaking free of the system at that time. And I, was seeing a lot of things in a different way. So for better or for worse with all that, but these people are still going at it with these things like every, they, these different shows, these different people that I still kind of follow a little bit, but, and they're always saying like, oh, boom, this happened. Oh, boom, that breaking news, this, time is coming. This is going to happen. And all this like, shit that like the truth is, it's the same thing when I talk about like Mark Drost, and when I do the Toasted Drost, which we, I have a request for that too, but we'll get to that in another show. But it's the same thing like when I talk about him, like when I talk about like these people, it's like you're taking this one facet and totally believing it and saying like trusting all these people that this is what's going on, like all the people who like totally love Trump and think he's saving America and all this stuff. It's like, it's just you're so stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just such a stupid thing to put. And I'm somebody who did it too in a little bit, so I'm happy to say it. But I mean, like, for any of us to ever put all our faith or whatever. It's things that are happening in this way. It's all projection. It's all a show. It's all done purposely. And then like these guys to be able to be on these platforms with like millions of viewers and then like promoting ads and and they're saying all this stuff. And then like, I know I'm buried somewhere in some algorithm that doesn't even exist. And what am I saying? I'm just trying to talk like a normal person, It's just interesting to me, that stuff. And then on another kind of topic, you watch like the YouTube and always the ads pop up. Right. And I start thinking to myself, like, it's so intrusive. Like I'll be watching something, I'm listening, and then all of a sudden, the ad pops up and, I got to wait to hit skip. And then some of them you can't skip. And it's always like the stupid shit. Like, oh, unless you want to get a whole new wardrobe, don't use this salt trick, this pink salt trick. And I'm like, it's just like stupid shit. Like just keep pumping it at you. Like that's what really gets me too. Like, it's so intrusive and then you just pump it at you and pump it at you and pump it at you. And then they'll put these commercials on that'll be like, oh, this one mineral can regenerate your teeth, or this one something can bring your hearing back. And then they go on like a 2.5 minute, like, which I never watch, right? I'm thinking like, if you got something, a mineral that somebody can chew on that'll help regrow teeth and enamel or whatever, why are you taking 2.5 minutes to talk about, you should just say, here's the mineral, chew on it, right? I mean, it's like freaking 2 seconds. That's what I mean. It's everything's so fake in our world is what gets me, even when, again, taking advantage of some of the truth stuff that is valuable, as far as is valuable information in it, as far as people standing up for themselves and questioning things and such. But they also take advantage of it and turn it into for their own gain and profit, and just keep stringing people along with the same, oh, this is going to happen, oh, Obama's getting arrested, you know what I mean? And they just keep going and going, saying all this crap, and maybe it will happen. I have no idea, but like, to me, I say to myself, you don't know what's going to happen until it freaking happens, right? And like, whether it be, and nothing's going to happen, like everybody makes it like all this crap is happening, blah, blah. Nothing's happening. I'll tell you what's happened. When the day that, the comet hits the earth and there's a big explosion, or some superstorm takes out half the country, or a nuke goes off, or the aliens, like, then you'll know something's going on. Otherwise there's nothing to watch. And when something like that happens, you'll know about it. So don't waste your time with all the nonsense out there. All right. Let's do some fun facts. I don't know what that tirade was about, but there we go. Let's do some fun facts before we wrap it up. I just get so agitated with all these people on their, like, they just keep doing, even some of the like astrology stuff I watch. I enjoy them talking about, the planetary movements and the energies and stuff. But some people are just like shysters about it. They're just like, oh, this is a grand trine and it's very blah, blah, blah. Don't go out today. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, listen, if you're meant to go, you're going to go. God will take you when it's time. So just relax and enjoy your life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do some fun facts. Fun facts. Everybody likes it when we do fun facts on Operation Status Quo. All right, let's do some of these and get the hell out of here. Get to the chopper. All right, let's see here. I don't remember where I left off on this list, but we'll start like this. Because I find this to be, I might have said this one in the last time I did it, but who the hell knows? It says that comets smell like rotten eggs. A comet smells like rotten eggs, urine, burning matches, and almonds. It's like, who the hell is there somebody up there, sniffing the comet? Like, you know what I mean? And like, by the time a piece of comet gets here, God knows what happened to it. You might have found it in the woods and a bear took a leak on it, and then now you're saying it smells like urine and rotten eggs. So I don't know, like, where this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Comets smell, and the people go, oh, did you know comets smell like rotten eggs? It's like, no, I didn't know it. And you don't know it either. So, get smart up a little bit. All right. The Earth's poles are moving. The magnetic reversal of the North and South Pole has happened 171 times in the past 71 million years, and we're overdue for a flip, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're flipping and flopping as we're spun to spin right here on Operation Status Quo. So, yeah, they do, I've heard this before. Matter of fact, if you ever follow Greg Braden does some great work, if you want to look him up, as far as talking about our heart center and the power and how the aura, the energetic field around everything, and blah, blah, blah. You have to check him out. He's been doing work for years and years. I used to follow him a lot, like in the more like around 2010, 11, 12. Like I was kind of watching him a lot back then. But anyway, and he talks about the magnetic poles are shifting in the Earth, but who the hell knows? Because other people say the Earth is flat and there is no South Pole, but you know what I mean? I don't know. Either way, something's happening with the planet. I think we can all see that. So it's like, let's just go for the ride. That's how it's going to be here. All right, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just do a couple more. Do you know that you can actually die laughing? I don't know about that. Not here on Operation Status Quo. You don't have to worry about that problem here, right? All right. Hey-o. But it does say that you can actually die laughing, typically due to intense laughter causing a heart attack or suffocation. Comedy shows should come with a warning. So again, you're safe here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. But be careful if you do find that you're intrigued by something that is actually entertaining and brings a smile to your face. Be careful, because you could die. Just like from anything else. You die from coffee. You die. No, you don't die from coffee. You die from eggs. No, you don't die from eggs. You die from milk. No, you don't die from milk. Like, you know, whatever. One day you die, next day you don't. You know what I mean? So you're going to die from something. So you might as well die laughing. It's probably a good way to go. Laughing and maybe having sex and laughing at the same time. Might be eating chocolate. I don't know. Whatever indulgences you like. All right, let's see. I did it again. I went past 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no. I really thought I could do it, but obviously I did not. Hold on. I got another one I want to do here, but I want to find this one sound effect because I got the sound effect, so I might as well use it. All right, here we go. Did you know that chainsaws were first invented for childbirth, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, there we go. This is that chainsaw. Yeah. Ma'am, you know, this baby's taking a long time to come out. I think we got a little something that can help it along. But it does say that chainsaws were first invented for childbirth. It was developed in Scotland in the late 18th century to help and speed up the process of the childbirth, of the widening of the pubic cartilage. I don't know. I mean, as a woman, women barely want to be touched by a penis. Do you think they want to be touched by a chainsaw? It's like, you know, oh my God, removal. When it says it wasn't until the start of the 20th century when we started using chainsaws for wood chopping. So chainsaws were actually to chop up women first, which actually makes a lot of sense, right? A lot of married guys out there. Come on, you guys. You would say, now we understand they made up chainsaws to chop up women. This makes sense. It makes it easy, too, to say, oh, yeah, she died of childbirth. I don't know what happened. We were just trying to get the baby, and whoop, we cut her in half, you know? Oh, it's too much. All right, that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me. It's always a pleasure to be here for you, and I love having you here with me as always. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share, send this out to your family, your friends, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. God bless each and every one of you out there, individually as well as a group. You know I love you. Don't forget to go to pete.palma.com. Don't forget to stream Happy Day. Make your day a happy day. Every day's a happy day right here on Operation Status Quo. And until next time, Operation Status Quo, you know it, disengaged.
Is a boulevard of 10 short blocks.